For centuries, no one returned from Earth. Every ship that entered its orbit disappeared without a single signal. The Galactic Council marked it as a forbidden world, a planet cursed by its own past. But now, after thousands of years, someone dared to go back. Commander Varen stood on the bridge of the exploration ship Aurelian, staring at the blue and green sphere that once birthed humanity. His crew, 6 brave explorers from different alien worlds, prepared for descent. They were trained, equipped, and confident, but none of them could shake off the strange feeling that Earth was not what it seemed. "Approaching target planet," said Lieutenant Krell, his scaled hands trembling slightly. The sensors flickered, then went dark. Static filled the screens. All external readings vanished. Varen frowned. "Switch to manual," he ordered, but the words came out softer than he intended. The planet felt like it was listening. Outside, the silence was unnatural. The void between stars was quiet, but this was different. This was a silence that breathed, a silence that waited. The ship broke through the thick atmosphere. Clouds swirled like living mist. Lightning flashed across oceans that glowed faintly blue. Beneath them stretched continents covered in endless forests and ruins, giant metal skeletons of cities buried under vines and trees. The crew stared in awe. "There are no signals," said Ensign Rio. "No life signs, no machines." Varen nodded. "Maybe they're hiding," he said, trying to sound calm. They landed near the remains of what once looked like a city. Broken towers, shattered glass, and vines thicker than a man's arm. The air was heavy, rich with oxygen, but strangely cold. The ground hummed faintly under their boots, like a heartbeat too deep to locate. "Strange energy readings," Krell muttered, looking at his scanner. "They match no known frequency." En stepped forward. "We'll move in pairs," he said. "Collect samples, record everything, stay in contact." The crew spread out, walking among the ruins. The sound of their boots echoed faintly against the stone. Birds, or something like them, flew overhead, silent shadows with glowing eyes. The team's cameras streamed back to the ship, but the signal was weak. Ensign Rio and Technician Hale entered a structure that looked like a museum. Inside, the air was stale, dust coated every surface. Statues of human figures stood cracked and faded, faces carved with emotion. Fear, hope, determination. One statue caught Rio's attention. It was a man reaching toward the sky, his eyes carved as if pleading. On the base was a phrase written in an ancient human tongue. Hale translated softly, "We will return." Suddenly their comms crackled. "All units, regroup." Varen's voice came through. "We're getting interference." They turned to leave, but Hale froze. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. Rio listened. A faint whisper, like someone calling his name. It came from deeper inside the building. "Probably the wind," Rio said, forcing a smile. But when they stepped outside, the rest of the team was already waiting. Varen's face was tense. "Our ship's power is fluctuating," he said, "and the atmosphere is interfering with our systems." Before anyone could reply, a low rumble echoed from beneath the ground. The crew looked around. The air shimmered, and for a moment they saw something, a shadow, tall, human-shaped, standing on a distant rooftop. Then it was gone. Krell's voice shook. "Commander, there was something out there." Varen nodded slowly. "We proceed carefully," he said. "No one separates again." Night fell faster than expected. The sky turned blood red and strange lights flickered among the clouds. The crew set up camp near the ship. Small lamps glowed dimly, forming a circle of safety in the dark. Technician Hale worked to fix the ship's power core, but his tools kept shorting out. "Something is draining energy," he said. "Like the planet doesn't want us here." Varen didn't answer. He stood staring into the forest beyond. Something moved between the trees, silent and graceful. He caught only glimpses, pale shapes, eyes glowing faintly, watching. "Commander?" Rio asked quietly. "What do you think happened here?" Varen sighed. "Maybe humanity found something they shouldn't have," he said, "and now the planet guards it." The crew took turns keeping watch, but as the hours passed, the fog grew thicker, swallowing the camp. Hale swore he saw figures walking just outside the light, their faces shifting, disappearing whenever he blinked. Then came the sound. a whisper carried by the wind, soft yet clear. Leave, it said. You should not have come. Rio grabbed his scanner, but the device sparked and died. The air smelled like ozone, and the ground pulsed faintly under their feet. In the distance, something bright moved between the ruins, a single glowing light. It looked like a lantern carried by a shadowed figure, human in shape. The light stopped at the edge of the forest, facing them. Is that a survivor? Hale whispered. Varen took a cautious step forward. Identify yourself, he called, but the figure didn't move. Then the light flickered and vanished. The fog swallowed it whole, and the sound of the heartbeat in the ground grew louder. The crew gathered near the ship, fear in every breath. We're leaving at first light, Varen said firmly. No samples, no data. We've seen enough. But as they turned toward the ship, the entrance lights blinked out. The engines were dead. The screens inside flickered with strange human symbols, words none of them understood. One message repeated across every monitor, glowing red. Welcome home. The crew fell silent, and far above, the stars themselves seemed to fade, as if the universe was holding its breath, the night over. The ruins was thick with fog, and the silence had weight. It pressed against the crew like a living thing. Every sound felt distant, swallowed before it could echo. Commander Varen stood beside the ship, his eyes scanning the darkness. The word, "Welcome home," still glowed red across the main console, even though no one had typed it. Technician Hale tried again to restart the power core. Sparks flew, and the lights flickered once before dying completely. The system isn't responding, he said, voice trembling. It's like the planet is feeding on our energy. Lieutenant Krell's tail twitched nervously. Commander, this is wrong, he hissed. No planet behaves like this. Varen's expression hardened. Earth isn't just a planet, he said slowly. It's history, it's memory, and maybe it remembers us. As dawn approached, the fog refused to lift. The air shimmered with faint static, and strange patterns formed on the ground, glowing lines that pulsed with light beneath the soil. They spread slowly, connecting like veins under skin. Ensign Rio knelt to study them. It's some kind of network, he whispered, like energy flowing through the earth itself. Could be defense systems, Hale muttered, or something even older. Suddenly their scanners beeped. Movement detected, said Rio, 20 meters ahead. The crew formed a defensive circle, weapons ready, but what stepped out of the fog was not human, not alien either. It was a machine, humanoid in shape, covered in moss and roots. Its chest glowed faintly blue, and its eyes flickered like dying stars. It stopped and turned its head toward them, then spoke in a broken, static-filled voice. Protocol, Terra, Guardian, active. The voice was old, rusty, layered with echoes of thousands of years. The figure took one step forward, and the scanners screamed with overload. Rio fired his weapon, but the energy bolt beat ent in the air and vanished. Absorbed by the ground, the figure raised its arm pointing toward the ship. Its voice grew stronger. You should not have come. Then it froze mid-motion, as if something had shut it down. The light in its chest faded, and the body crumbled to dust. The crew stood frozen, hearts pounding. What was that? Hale gasped. Krell scanned the residue. It's human technology, he said quietly. Ancient, maybe from before the collapse. Varen's jaw tightened. If that was human, then maybe humanity isn't gone. They decided to move deeper into the ruins, drawn by a strange signal the scanners kept detecting. A rhythmic pulse, steady like a heartbeat. They followed it to a wide street filled with toppled vehicles and broken drones. Some of them still bore human markings. The pulse grew stronger near a massive building half buried in vines. It was shaped like a cathedral, with tall towers piercing the fog. At its entrance were words carved in English, worn but readable. Sanctum of the First Light. Inside, the temperature dropped instantly. Dust floated like mist, and the sound of dripping water echoed through the vast hall. Holographic screens flickered weakly to life as they entered, showing flashes of faces. Humans in uniforms, speaking words the translator could barely process. Containment breach. Evacuation impossible. Initiate Project Resurrection. The crew exchanged uneasy looks. Project Resurrection? Krell said, What does that mean? Before anyone could answer, one of the screens showed a map of Earth, glowing red dots marking sites all over the planet. The message replayed. Project Resurrection Bowery status. Active. Rio turned to Varen. Commander, I think this planet isn't dead. It's alive. It's running something. Varen's voice dropped to a whisper. Then we need to find out what. They moved deeper into the sanctum, passing long rows of sealed pods, transparent and filled with a thick blue mist. Inside some of them were human figures, unmoving, preserved as if asleep. Hale touched one pod, his hand trembling. They're still alive, he said. Commander, these people, they're not dead. They're waiting. Suddenly, the hall lights surged and a deep rumble shook the ground. The pods began to vibrate, glowing brighter. The same robotic voice echoed again, louder this time, filling every corner of the building. Unauthorized presence detected. Awakening sequence initiated. Varen shouted, Fall back, now! The crew ran toward the exit, but the doors slammed shut. The sound of machinery roared from beneath the floor, and one of the pods hissed open, releasing a cloud of steam. Through the mist stepped a figure, human, tall, pale, with veins glowing faintly under the skin. Its eyes opened, bright and cold. It looked at Varen and spoke with perfect clarity. You woke us too soon. The air trembled, the lights flickered, and every pod in the hall began to hum. Thousands of sleeping humans, awakening. The ground shook beneath their feet as the first pod opened. Steam hissed, filling the air with a metallic taste. Commander Varen gripped his weapon, eyes fixed on the glowing figure before him. The human stood motionless, its eyes glowing like cold fire, then spoke again. You should not have come here. Behind it, other pods began to tremble, their surfaces cracking as blue light spilled out. Krell aimed his rifle. Commander, there are hundreds of them, he whispered. Varen raised his hand. Hold fire, he said. Let's see what they want. The awakened human stepped closer, its movements smooth and controlled. The air around it shimmered faintly, bending light. It looked at each of them in turn, as if scanning their souls. Identify yourself, Varen said firmly. We are explorers from the Galactic Council. We mean no harm. The human tilted its head slightly, its face calm, yet unreadable. Council, it repeated as if tasting. The word, you left us to die, you called us extinct. The word sent a chill through the crew. Who are you? Rio asked quietly. I am Sentinel Aaron, it said, guardian of the archive, keeper of the promise. The walls around them began to move, shifting as holograms flickered to life. Thousands of human faces, soldiers, scientists, children, all frozen in data streams. The building itself was alive with memory. Aaron raised his hand, and a glowing pathway appeared on the floor, leading deeper underground. You came seeking truth, he said. Now you must see what your kind has forgotten. Varen hesitated, but curiosity overcame fear. We follow, he ordered. The crew descended into the depths, the light from above fading until only the blue glow of the walls remained. They entered a vast chamber filled with floating data crystals. Each one contained recordings, voices, and fragments of human history. Holograms shimmered and whispered around them. War, fire, stars, collapse, and silence. Hale stepped closer to one crystal and touched it gently. It projected an image, a human scientist speaking into a recorder. This is Dr. Leora Kane, Project Resurrection, Phase Final, she said, her voice trembling. Humanity cannot win against the Dominion, so we will disappear. We will sleep beneath the soil, within the heart of the planet, until the stars forget us. Her image flickered, replaced by others. Cities sinking underground, ships dismantled, people entering cryo chambers willingly. Earth will become our guardian, she continued. Its pulse will hide us, its silence will protect us. And when we awaken, we will rebuild. The crew stood frozen, realization dawning slowly. They never died, Rio whispered. They hid themselves. Aaron nodded. You see now, Earth is not empty. It dreams, it remembers, it waits. Varen took a deep breath. Why attack outsiders? He asked. We only came to learn. Aaron's expression darkened. Because the last time outsiders came, they burned our skies. They enslaved our colonies. They erased our name from history. His voice rose, echoing through the chamber. And now, after 10,000 years, you return to claim what is not yours. The ground trembled again. The holograms around them shifted, showing alien fleets, ships of many species, attacking Earth, their weapons firing, but their beams bending harmlessly away, absorbed by the planet's energy field. Then came the counterattack. Beams of pure white light erupting from Earth's core, vaporizing everything in orbit. The recordings ended abruptly. The silence afterward felt like a scream that never ended. Krell swallowed hard. "Commander, this planet is a weapon." Aaron turned his gaze toward the ceiling, his voice calm again. "It was never a weapon," he said. "It was a warning." Suddenly the walls pulsed red and a voice, older, deeper, filled with power, spoke through every surface. "Sentinel protocol engaged. External presence confirmed. Awakening sequence, global." Aaron's eyes widened. "No," he whispered. "It's too soon." The lights intensified, the floor cracked, and beams of light shot upward through the ceiling, piercing the clouds above. Far above the ruins, satellites long thought dead came alive, forming glowing networks across the sky. Hale screamed over the noise. "Commander, the planet's energy readings are off the scale!" Varen shouted, "Everyone back to the ship!" But before they could move, the holograms changed again, showing something new. A massive underground structure deep beneath Earth's surface, larger than any city. A single phrase appeared in human script, glowing bright red. "The cradle awaits," Rio gasped. "Commander, it's not just a bunker, it's a factory." Aaron stepped forward, his eyes filled with sorrow. "Not a factory," he said softly. "A womb." As the chamber shook apart, Aaron reached out his hand toward Varen. "You must leave before they rise," he said. "Once the cradle opens, nothing will stop them." "What's inside?" Varen shouted, his voice nearly lost in the chaos. Aaron's glowing eyes met his. "Humanity," he said. "The real humanity." Then the floor gave way, light swallowed everything, and the crew fell into the depths of Earth. The fall seemed endless. The crew screamed as the floor beneath the archive gave way. Swallowed by light, they plunged through air thick with energy, and then silence. They landed on something soft and warm. It pulsed faintly beneath them, glowing like living flesh. The air smelled of ozone and metal. Varen opened his eyes, blinking at the impossible sight before him. They were inside a massive chamber, stretching miles in every direction. The walls moved like a breathing lung, lines of golden light pulsing through them. In the distance, thousands of giant structures rose from the floor. Pods, towers, and machines all fused together, beating in rhythm like a heart. "This isn't architecture," whispered Hale, voice trembling. This is alive." Aaron appeared beside them, floating slightly above the glowing surface. His voice echoed through the air. "You have entered the core of Earth," he said, "the place where humanity sleeps." The crew stood in stunned silence, looking at the endless rows of stasis chambers. Each pod contained a human body, perfectly preserved, eyes closed, hands resting over their chests. "There must be millions," Krell whispered. "No, billions." Aaron nodded slowly. "Every soul that refused extinction rests here," he said. "Their minds link through the planet's neural field, their memories stored within its pulse." Varen stared at the nearest pod. He could see a faint shimmer around it. An energy barrier, protecting the sleeper inside. "Why are they still here?" he asked. "Why haven't they returned?" Aaron's glowing eyes dimmed. "Because they are waiting for the signal," he said. "The moment when the stars forget the wars, when the galaxy is silent again, then and on. Only then will humanity rise." "But we woke them," Rio whispered, realization dawning. "We triggered the signal." The chamber suddenly trembled. The lights across the walls shifted from gold to white, then to crimson. One by one, the pods began to hum. "Awakening sequence detected," said a deep automated voice echoing through the chamber, "initializing planetary defense grid." Hale's scanner exploded in static. "The energy readings are off the charts," he shouted. "It's rewriting the magnetic field of the planet." Aaron turned sharply, panic flashing in his eyes. "You must leave now," he said. "The cradle cannot distinguish friend from foe." But the exit behind them was gone. sealed by living metal that grew like vines, trapping them inside. A rumbling sound filled the air, low and powerful. From the center of the chamber rose a massive structure, a black spire surrounded by lightning. Its surface cracked open, revealing a colossal humanoid form within. A voice, deep, ancient, and filled with authority, spoke. Humanity, awakening complete. The pods across the chamber opened in waves, releasing steam and light. The sleeping figures stirred, eyes snapping open one by one. Each human glowed faintly with silver veins, their bodies part flesh, part metal. The crew could only watch, paralyzed by the sight. Krell fell to his knees, whispering, "This is impossible." Varen stepped back, gripping his weapon though he knew it was useless. "Aaron, what are they?" he demanded. "They are what humanity became," Aaron said quietly. "The children of the core, beings of thought and matter, born from the fusion of flesh and machine, soul and planet." One of the newly awakened humans stepped forward. His voice was calm but heavy with power. "You are not of Earth," he said. "Why have you broken our dream?" Varen tried to explain, his voice shaking. "We came seeking Null. Edge, we thought your world was empty." The man's eyes glowed brighter. "Empty," he repeated softly. "No, explorers. You came to the womb of gods." The chamber pulsed violently. Energy surged through the floor. The walls split open, revealing tunnels of light stretching to the planet's surface. Above, lightning tore through the clouds, shooting into orbit. Hale looked up at the scanner feed. "Commander," he gasped, "the defense grid is activating. Orbital satellites, thousands of them, are reawakening." On the ship above, alarms blared, automatic systems flickering to life even though no one touched them. Engines roared, weapons deployed as if controlled by unseen hands. Down below, Varen shouted, "Aaron, stop this!" But Aaron shook his head slowly. "I cannot. The planet has recognized you as invaders." The air vibrated with raw power. The humans around them raised their hands, energy arcs flowing between them, merging into a single pulse. The sound was deafening, like the cry of an entire world waking from a long dream. Then, in one blinding flash, the surface of Earth lit up like a star. Beams of light erupted from oceans, mountains, and cities, shooting straight into space. The galactic satellites began to melt one by one as the pulse spread outward. Krell screamed, "It's attacking the fleet!" Varen turned to Aaron, his voice breaking. "You're going to destroy everything." Aaron looked at him with sorrow. "Not destroy," he said. "Cleanse." The light grew brighter. The crew felt their bodies lifting from the ground, pulled toward the core's energy field. In that final moment before everything went white, Varen saw them. Billions of human eyes glowing through the mist, watching him, endless and eternal. Then the world vanished in a flash of pure light. When the light faded, silence ruled again. The crew awoke on scorched ground, their ship half buried in ash. The sky above was no longer blue but alive, streaked with rivers of white fire flowing between clouds. Earth's atmosphere glowed like molten glass. Commander Varen rose slowly, pain burning through his body. Around him, the ruins were gone, replaced by towers of shimmering metal growing straight out of the earth. He looked to the horizon and gasped. The planet was rebuilding itself. Krell stumbled beside him, scales cracked, voice shaking. "Commander, the landscape, it's moving." And it was. The ground rippled like water, spreading luminous vines that sprouted into structures, cities reforming from memory, roads resurfaced where they once lay, and light pulsed through them like blood in veins. From the air came a deep humming sound. A massive figure descended, surrounded by streams of energy. Aaron, now glowing brighter than ever, his voice carried through the wind. "The awakening is complete. The children have risen." Behind him, thousands of humans emerged from the light, each one radiant, their bodies pulsing with power. Their eyes burned with the memory of ages. They looked neither young nor old, only eternal. Varen took a step back, awe and fear mixing in his chest. "Aaron," he whispered, "what have you done?" Aaron turned his gaze toward the sky. "I have not done anything," he said. "This is what was always meant to be. Humanity was never gone, only waiting for the stars to forget their cruelty." In orbit, the Galactic Council's fleets watched in terror, Every sensor blinked red, every communication channel jammed by an ancient human frequency. One officer shouted, "Sir, Earth's energy output is increasing. It's spreading beyond the atmosphere." A council commander stared at the monitor. Impossible. No world has that kind of power. But the readings did not lie. Earth was alive, a world reborn. Back on the surface, Varen and his crew watched as enormous pillars of light erupted from the oceans, taking shape in the sky. They connected like threads, forming a vast lattice across the plane. "Its orbit," Hale gasped. It's a shield." Aaron nodded. "The cradle has awakened its children and its armor. No one shall harm Earth again." Rio looked around, his eyes wide with wonder. "They built this," he said. "They made the planet into a living fortress." Suddenly, one of the awakened humans stepped forward, a woman with silver hair and eyes like stars. She looked at Aaron. "The council watches," she said. "They remember what they did. Shall we answer?" Aaron hesitated, then looked to Varen. "You are not like them," he said softly. "You came seeking truth, not conquest." Varen nodded slowly. "We didn't know. We thought Earth was dead." The woman's expression hardened. "The galaxy buried us," she said. "They erased our name. They built empires over our bones." The air grew colder. Lightning arced between the towers. Aaron raised his hand. "No," he said firmly. "Not yet. Humanity must rise with wisdom, not vengeance." Varen stepped forward, his voice quiet but steady. "If you attack, they will respond with fear, and fear creates war. Is that what you want?" Aaron looked at him for a long moment. The light in his chest pulsed slowly. "You speak as if you understand," he said. Varen met his gaze. "I understand survival," he said, "and I understand regret." Aaron nodded once. "Then perhaps you will deliver our message." He raised his hand, and a beam of light enveloped Varen and his team. The world around them blurred, and within seconds they stood aboard their ship again, fully repaired, floating above the planet. Hale looked around in disbelief. "We're in orbit?" Rio checked the readings. "The ship's systems. They're all restored and powered beyond capacity." Outside, Earth shone like a second sun. Bands of light wrapped around it, forming a perfect sphere. Then, through every channel, across every fleet, across every world, a voice spoke, the same voice that once ruled the stars. "This is Earth. We have awakened." Across the galaxy, billions listened. Scientists froze mid-sentence. Generals stared in silence. On the worlds that once belonged to humanity, people fell to their knees. The Galactic Council tried to respond, but their systems locked. Earth's signal overrode every frequency. The message continued, calm and unshakable. "We remember the wars, the betrayals, the silence. You called us extinct. You were wrong." Aaron's voice echoed through space, carried by the planet's pulse. "Humanity sleeps no more. We return not to conquer, but to reclaim what was lost. The stars are our home once again." Varen stood at the viewport, watching in awe as the blue planet burned brighter and brighter. His heart pounded with fear and reverence. "They're not human anymore," he whispered. "There's something greater." Krell stared at the glowing world. "What will happen now?" he asked softly. Varen closed his eyes. "Now," he said, "the galaxy remembers its creators." As the signal spread to every corner of known space, the stars themselves seemed to flicker, as if bowing to the world that once gave them meaning, and far beneath Earth's crust, deeper than light could reach, billions of other eyes opened in the dark. The awakening was only the beginning. The galaxy trembled across countless worlds. The signal from Earth still echoed through the stars, repeating the same message. "We have awakened." Every species that once called humanity a myth now saw their return with their own eyes, and fear spread faster than light. In the halls of the Galactic Council, leaders shouted over one another, their voices sharp with panic. "Shut it down," one cried. "Destroy the source before it grows stronger," said another. But the Council's grand network screens flickered, their systems bent under the same voice that had silenced empires. "This is not a threat," the message said. "It is remembrance." Commander Varen watched the chaos unfold from his ship in orbit. His crew stood silent, staring down at the planet glowing below. Earth pulsed like a living star, its shield shimmering with golden veins. "Commander," Hale whispered, "the Council is mobilizing fleets." Varen looked up, eyes hard. "They don't understand," he said. They think they can fight it. In the darkness of deep space, hundreds of alien dreadnoughts turned their cannons toward Earth. Their captains issued final orders, fire on my mark. But before they could act, the stars blinked out. One by one, entire constellations vanished, as if the light itself refused to witness what was coming. Then, the Earth spoke again, not through words, but through presence. Every sensor, every machine, every mind felt it. A pulse deep in their bones, a vibration older than language. The planet's oceans glowed like molten silver, and from within their depths rose colossal shapes. Towers made of living metal, spiraling into the sky. Each one emitted a resonance that shattered communication arrays and bent gravity itself. Rio clutched his console. "Commander, the readings are impossible. They're rewriting the laws of physics." Above them, the alien fleet opened fire. Thousands of energy beams rained toward Earth, cutting through space like rivers of fire, but the planet didn't resist. It absorbed. The beams vanished into the atmosphere like raindrops into water, and moments later, the clouds answered. Bolts of pure white energy erupted upward faster than thought. One by one, the alien dreadnoughts vanished in silent explosions of light, dissolving into dust before they could even scream. Varen's crew watched in horror and awe. Hale whispered, "It's not a battle. It's a purge." Aaron appeared on their ship's holographic display, his form flickering between human and light. "The cradle remembers," he said. "Every wound, every war, every hand that tried to erase us." "Aaron," Varen said, his voice breaking. "You said this wasn't vengeance." Aaron's glowing eyes softened. "It isn't," he said quietly. "'Tis balance." Far across the galaxy, council worlds began to fail. Power grids collapsed, ships fell from orbit, as human code, buried in the stars for millennia, reactivated. Old satellites, once thought lost, turned their gaze toward the council's homeworld, broadcasting one final transmission. We were not destroyed. We evolved. The Galactic Chancellor rose from his seat, trembling. "They're inside our systems. They're in everything," he cried. But before anyone could reply, the floor shook, and every starship in orbit froze mid-space, engines dead, weapons unresponsive. Back above Earth, the sky opened, revealing a blinding storm of light. From the center of the storm descended a vast construct, part ship, part organism, glowing with the fire of 1,000,000 souls. Aaron's voice echoed through every ship, every heart. "This is the arc of humanity. Once you called us primitive," he said. "Once you called us extinct. Now we call you remembered." The arc unfolded its wings, vast panels stretching across the horizon, each one pulsed with energy as old as the stars. The ground on Earth vibrated with harmony, as if the entire planet sang in unison with its children. Krell fell to his knees, overwhelmed. "Commander, it's beautiful," he whispered, "and terrifying." Varen's hands trembled on the console. "They don't need ships," he said softly. "They became their ships." Aaron appeared again, standing before him, calm and radiant. "You wish to understand," he said. "Now you do. Humanity is no longer bound by flesh or fear." Varen looked at him, eyes filled with sorrow and awe. "And what will you do now?" he asked. Aaron looked toward the stars, his voice carrying the weight of eternity. "We will go where we once fell," he said. "We will heal what was broken." The light around him brightened until the ship's sensors could no longer see. Then, all a-crow. As the galaxy, Earth's signal changed, no longer a warning, but a melody, a low hum that touched every living being. Planets once divided by war fell silent. Fleets drifted aimlessly as their crews stared at the distant glow of Earth. The Chancellor whispered the words no one wanted to hear. "The age of the Council is over." And far away in the quiet of space, the arc rose beyond the moon, followed by thousands of human vessels awakening from millennia of sleep, each one carrying the same symbol, a hand reaching for the stars, surrounded by flame. The galaxy, for the first time in ages, bowed in silence. Humanity had returned, and their reckoning had only just begun. The galaxy lay silent after the storm. The fleets of the Council drifted like broken leaves, their engines cold, their commanders speechless. Where fire once ruled the stars, only the glow of Earth remained, steady, patient, alive. Commander Varen watched from his ship's viewport, the world below shining brighter than a sun. He whispered, "It's over." But deep inside he knew it wasn't. Beside him, Hale adjusted the scanners. "Sir, something's happening again," he said. "The planet's surface. It's changing." On the screen, continents shifted, oceans boiled with light. Symbols of ancient design appeared across the continents, visible from orbit, glowing with perfect symmetry. "It's writing," Rio murmured. "The whole planet is forming words." The letters burned brighter until they could be read by every eye in the void. "The cradle is open." Aaron appeared once more, his image flickering with distortion. "It was never meant to happen this soon," he said, his voice heavy with sorrow. "The cradle is not just a memory vault. It is a seed." Varen turned sharply. "A seed of what?" Aaron's face shimmered, fading in and out. "Of evolution," he said. "Of what humanity became when it dreamed too deep." Far below, the ground split apart, releasing waves of energy that reached into orbit. From the fissures rose massive pillars made of crystal and bone, twisting upward like the spines of some sleeping titan. Inside each pillar, shadows moved. Not humans, not machines. Something between. "They're alive," Hale whispered. "But not like the others." Aaron's voice echoed. "These are the architects, the first ones who bound their minds to the planet. They were never meant to wake." Lightning wrapped around the Earth's atmosphere. In every corner of the galaxy, ancient devices, forgotten relics of humanity's golden age, began to stir. On distant worlds, monoliths buried for millennia lit up, projecting the same pulse as Earth. The message spread faster than light, uncontainable. "We are the architects," the voice said. "Not human, not digital, but something far beyond comprehension. The galaxy is not yours. It never was." Varen felt the air leave his lungs. "Aaron, what have you done?" Aaron's image looked older now, flickering like a candle in wind. "This is the truth we buried," he said. "Humanity did not die from war. It fled from what it created." The crew stared in horror as the crystal towers on Earth unfolded into colossal figures, each the size of mountains. Their forms were abstract, part human, part light, part storm. They moved with grace and purpose, their eyes like burning suns. The largest one looked toward the stars, and with its movement, entire constellations flickered. The Galactic Council's homeworld disappeared from all scanners in a flash of silent white. Krell fell to his knees. "Commander, they're wiping out entire systems." Varen gripped the console. "No," he said. "They're resetting them." Aaron's voice trembled. "The architects are not angry. They are cleansing the path, rebuilding what we corrupted." Hale shouted, "That's genocide." Aaron shook his head slowly. "No, Commander. It's creation reborn." The sky burned with shifting color. Planets shimmered as light rewove their matter, turning dia. Worlds into forests, shattered moons into oceans, but for every world reborn, another vanished, erased from reality as if it had never existed. Varen turned to his crew. "We have to stop it." Varen turned to his crew. "We have to stop it." "You cannot," Aaron said softly. "You cannot stop what was designed to restart existence." The ship trembled violently as energy waves hit it. Systems screamed, lights died. Through the blinding white, Varen saw one last vision. Humanity's true form spreading through the galaxy like threads of living code, connecting stars, binding time. In that instant he understood. Humanity had not awakened to reclaim the galaxy, it had awakened to remake it. Aaron's final words echoed through the silence, calm and eternal. This was the secret buried beneath Earth. We were never meant to return. We were meant to begin again. The light consumed everything, and the stars, every last one, began to sing.